Welcome to the Field of 68 After Dark's YouTube channel. We are going to be live every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here on YouTube and on Stadium for the entirety of the spring. That was one where it was, I feel like Louisville fans were not happy when that hire was eventually made, right? Like they were like, all we got was this guy from Charleston who hasn't won a game in a tournament yet. And this is going to be the guy that brings the program back. And then, boom, you get him in a press conference and he kills it. And you get him on a Twitter Spaces with a bunch of Louisville fans and he kills it. And you get him doing this social media stuff and he kills it. And all of a sudden, people can kind of see that energy and they're feeling it. And then they go out into the portal and they got Terrence Edwards from James Madison, who's a high major dude. They got in Rain Smith, who could just shoot that thing.
What they're going to do?
They brought in James
I don't mean to interrupt.
You said,
I don't mean to interrupt, but by the time this show, we're recording it this afternoon. By the time this show is aired, they're going to have a kid named Javon Hadley also from Colorado, who's one of the top portal guys. So yes, Louisville's going to be, they got their roster going here.
Yeah, and they also got James Scott. We haven't talked about James Scott, who who did you say he was going to be better than? You said he was going to be better than Zach Edey, I think. Didn't you say that?
I never said that. I said he's going to be an NBA player. Like watching this dude, I never said he's going to be better than Zach Edey, you jackass. What I did say was this kid is going to be, he's talented. He's terrific defensively. And he's going to be a guy that honestly in a year or so, you're going to look at and be like, he could. I said this when he was at Charleston that I thought he could play at North Carolina. Well, he's not going to play at North Carolina, but he's going to play at Louisville.
Yeah, no, you're not like he's got all the physical tools that you need. You're not wrong about that part. It'll be interesting to see what his development is, but the tools are absolutely there. I think McCall said the same thing when we were in at Florida Atlantic for that event. He was just like, what is this dude doing at Charleston? So talk to me about like Kelsey there. Like, how do you feel now? You were able to catch up with him. You've seen this from afar. You know him pretty well. They are going to have as much of a roster as anybody at that level has right now with, I think, like 6 guys. So he at least knows that he can field a team right now if nothing else happens. Where do you stand right now on Pat Kelsey and Louisville?
Love it. I mean, I did love it. The only thing was for Louisville fans, they were hoping Scott Drew was walking through that door or Dusty May, who they knew was walking through that door. And then you get Pat Kelsey and he walks through the door and you're like, all right, who is this dude? He's like 5'6", the black, rim glasses. You're like, who? The dude looks like he belongs in like I don't know if
those glasses really are ridiculous.
Yeah, you ever see the show Rent? No. Yes. You're not cultured enough. You're not cultured.
I know what you're talking about.
But that's what he looks like he should be in. But then he wins you over in the press conference and I gotta post this. I'm making a note here. I'm gonna post this video that I have of Kels in the locker room that we're gonna talk about in this interview. It's insane. This dude's energy is absolutely off the charts from anybody I've ever seen at any level coaching. And again, that's what they needed. He's the polar opposite of Kenny Payne. That's generally what you go for, right? If a guy fails as a coach, as an athletic director, you look for the polar opposite. Literally, Josh Hurd found the polar opposite of Kenny Payne. Kenny Payne, let's face it, and I don't mean to take shots after he's gone, but like you'd hear from NBA guys, other people that would go through and just say like his practices, it was bad. It was really bad. Unorganized. Obviously, he had no energy. Kelsey has all the energy in the world, super organized, incredible work ethic, has been a head coach for years, has kind of learned and made his mistakes at places like Winthrop and Charleston. That's where Kenny Payne should have had. I always said this to people. Kenny Payne's first job should have been at like the low major level. And then maybe he would have figured it out at that level and been ready. But like, I don't know, man. Like Kelsey's perfect for this job right now. Perfect.
I honestly think that they got a better fit. I know that Dusty May is the bigger name. I think that they got a better fit for that program and what that fan base is with Pat Kelsey than they did with Dusty May. I think Dusty May fits much better at Michigan, where it's not as much of a, he doesn't have to be as much of a showman. I feel like when you're, and that maybe that's the wrong way to phrase it, but you know what I mean? Like when you're at Louisville, you're in the spotlight. You are the Louisville head coach in a city that cares about college basketball more than anything else, in the stadium or in an arena that'll, what does the Yum Center hold? Like 22,000, 23,000, something ridiculous. So you gotta be able to embrace the spotlight. Thanks for watching the Field of 68 After Dark. Make sure to hit that like button.